Interview for the All India services like the IAS, IPS, and IFS is very critical for any candidate. This is because even if you have scored a very high marks in the written examinations, interview has 275 marks. Therefore, the marks that you secure in the interview, to a large extent, despite the fact you have scored a good marks in the main examination, decides your selection into the most prestigious services like the IAS, IPS, IFS, or the IRS. Therefore, a candidate has to pay enough attention. In fact, he must undergo rigorous practice training to face the IAS interview. If the candidate has not scored a very good mark, still he has a very fair chance to get into the IAS, IPS, or IFS, or IRS if he has secured a very high marks in the interview. Therefore, interview is very critical in the civil services examinations. Going through the current affairs, going through your optional subject once again, going through the subjects you have studied already in the degree or in the postgraduate degree course, absolutely, they are important, they are helpful. But civil services interview is not meant for testing your knowledge alone, because your knowledge in the subject, in the general matters of interest, national and international importance, they're already tested in the main examinations. But they will now test something else. And that's why civil services interview is otherwise called a personality test, a psychological test. This personality test is meant for testing your certain mental qualities, certain fine human qualities like mental alertness, logical exposition, your balance of judgment, your social cohesion, your leadership, the depth of your interest in any subject, your integrity, your mental and moral integrity. So these characters are tested along the course of your interview. And interview, mind you, is this also an examination? Interview is a oral test, oral examination. You have written already an examination. The examiner has not seen you, but he has seen your answer papers. Now, the examiner is meeting you in person. It's a face-to-face interaction. Essentially, interview is a conversation. But in the course of the conversation, the board consists of a chairman and 4 more members. The chairman usually will be a member of the UPSC. And this chairman is very important in the interview, you know it. And the team will assess certain fine human qualities based on your answer, how you answered, your body language, and the honesty you displayed, the originality you displayed. All these things will count to assess your performance in the interview. Therefore, interview is an oral examination. Interview is a conversation. Interview is a face-to-face examination. And ultimately, interview is a personality test. The candidates should realize the fact that interview is not simply a question and answer session. The moment you go, questions will not be asked. In fact, the interview will start with a process. Interview is a process. Interview itself, IAS interview itself is a process. It goes through certain stages. First of all, they will make you to sit comfortable. They'll ask you to sit down. And they may like to initiate a conversation. You can't initiate a conversation, naturally. But they will ask you some basic questions about your background, about your education, about your family, about your special interest. Particularly, they may ask certain questions like, why do you want to be an IAS officer? They may also ask you to introduce yourself. It is where the preparation really comes. I have seen in my last 20 years of experience in training interview candidates for the UPSC interview, I know many students, just like that, think without preparation they can really do well. After all, they have seen many. They have seen many interviews. So they think, okay, this is what I have seen in my college, so many interviews. But it doesn't really happen that way. There will be a lot of nervousness, anxiety in the interview, in the interview room. When they ask your introduction, please introduce yourself, they may say. I have seen some candidates simply saying his name and telling a village name. In fact, that village, how does the committee know where this village is? But if you are properly prepared, for example, somebody said that I am so-and-so, I am Ranjit Kumar from Tiruvallur. Okay, that's all the introduction, in fact. I have seen in some other experiences. Tiruvallur, where is Tiruvallur? He must say, instead, I am Ranjit Kumar. I am from a town called Tiruvallur, which is 50 kilometers from Chennai. I have completed mechanical engineering from Anna University. My father is a farmer. I have a younger sister who is studying medicine. And my particular interest is to work with the government. This is good enough. These 5 sentences comes only to those who are really rehearsed, practiced, trained himself a few hundred times. Therefore, preparation is the key even for initiation and introduction. This is where the interview starts. Suppose the candidate is asked to tell something about his native town or city. He is from Lucknow or he is from Madurai. The man from Madurai introduces everything about his native city or town. He forgot the name of Meenakshi Amman temple. This will haunt him throughout the 45 minutes or 1 hour of interview. Therefore, once again, to start the starting process of the interview, preparation is the key. Once the introduction process is over, once you are comfortable with the board will proceed to test your mental attitude, mental abilities, psychological character. For this, they may pose some questions. Some of the questions may initiate from your starting introduction and initiation itself, your special interest, your subject, or whatever answer you are given. From there, a question may start. In this case, it's very important you make, first of all, when the question is asked, you should be very patiently, intently listening. For example, you can keep listening to the member who asked the question. If the chairman is asking the question, you can't keep looking at other people on the left and right. No, that's not correct. When the chairman is asking the question, just listen to him. Look into his eyes and patiently listen what he is saying. Let him complete the question. Think for 1 or 2 or 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Now you proceed to answer. What is that you want to say? Whatever you want to say it clearly. Say it really adequately loudly. Say it with interest. Say it with involvement. After a few sentences, stop it. It's very important in an interview that you don't prolong the reply. Too much prolonged reply can create unnecessary problems. The board will be really disturbed, and it's likely that you will expose more of your weaknesses, ignorance. It will not be good. So stop it when it comes. And if the other member is asking a question, immediately listen to him for the complete question. And once the question is over, take 1, 2, 3 seconds. Think about a while, very short while, and give an answer. Just answer, look at the person who asked the question and answer him. But once in a while, you can come back to the chairman and look at him in his face, come back to the man who has asked the question. It's very, very important that you maintain the eye contact. It's very important in the interview, you give an answer which is logical, which is reasonable, and more importantly, which is correct, accurate. Please remember, it doesn't really matter if you say that you do not know. That is a great quality of integrity, honesty, that you are willing to learn instead of saying a lie. Please remember this, lying, telling a false information, and trying to cover it by saying that this is what I know, this is what I read from the newspaper, this is what I read from the book, this is what I heard. It's very, very bad. You know that you are guessing the answer. You know that you are telling a lie, and you are trying to cover up. That's not a great human quality. Never, ever do it. Even if all the questions go wrong, if there is fine human qualities within you that you are an honest person, you are a simple person, you are just saying what you know, and you are simply denying what you do not know, it's absolutely okay for a good character. But repeatedly telling a lie will take you nowhere, because the members and the chairman will certainly know the answer for this question. Even if all the questions have gone wrong, still people have scored very high marks. When all questions gone all right, but a couple of questions, very wrong answers are given, those candidates have scored very, very low marks. In the due course of question and answering, what is very, very important, and the fatal mistake a candidate can ever do is to get into an argument with the board on wrong reason. It's very common, I am saying that. With the past experience in 20 years, very common with most candidates, they argue with the board on wrong information and wrong statistics and a wrong way. They think they're going to win in the conversation. You may win the conversation in your view, but you will lose the interview. Never ever pick up a quarrel or conversation with the board unless, of course, 100% you are right in your stand and your information is 100% accurate. Then, of course, you can take a strong view on that. I will let you know your very important secret in the IAS interview. And that secret is every candidate will be anxious. Anxiety and nervousness will grip everyone because everyone wants the service. It's a long way. It's a long journey. It's a long drawn battle. So much effort, so many years of effort. Everybody wants to be an IAS, IPS, or IFS, or IRS, or a railway services officer. Therefore, he will be nervous, he will be anxious, no doubt about it. When you are getting anxious, just understand everybody has it. But what is courage? How to overcome this anxiety and perform? That is, again, training. That much training you have taken, it will be easier for you to overcome this fear. More training in the parade ground, less bleeding in the battlefield. So more preparation already. Hundreds of interviews maybe, I don't know, 100 is a big number, but at least a few interviews you would have undergone as a training, mock interviews you should do in order to overcome this fear because it is very natural. Therefore, nothing to worry about it because everybody has got it. How are you going to overcome is very, very important. So in the interview hall, you are likely to be a little scared, a little nervous, but this is okay because this is natural. It's very natural. You can easily overcome that in due course of time. But the nervousness, you yourself may exacerbate. You can increase the nervousness if you feel that you're not faring well in the interview. If you realize that a couple of questions have not gone well for you, it's likely that you start sweating or more scared, more worried, and more, then you lose focus. The real strategy is never ever assess your performance. Never think about the answers you are given. Just stay there, live in the present, go through the interview like any other mock interview you have undergone. It is the next one in the previous interview. If you have thought of 15 interviews, this may be the 16th interview, that's all. Something like that, keep it in mind, don't worry about the result, and just give the performance. Don't assess your own performance, don't judge your performance, and keep worrying there. You'll never know. Probably you have been doing well, despite the fact you have not answered any of the questions, because they may think you are a very genuine person. And please understand this, being yourself is the largest secret, the biggest strategy in interview. Studies after studies in the West have revealed that people who try to pretend as if they know everything, people try to pretend that he is the most capable person, people who fake before the interview board can easily see through that person and they find out he is a fake person, he is not original, he is a duplicate. Therefore, try to be original. If you are from a village, you be a villager. If you are from a simple background, be that. You be from a single background. If your English language is not that proficient or it is you are not able to pronounce words in a more acceptable or in an international style or in the English style, it's absolutely all right. You just pronounce the way you are pronouncing because you are original there. Don't try to be imposed. Don't try to be an imposter. They'll easily find out that you are faking. You are trying to impose. You are pretending, or you are trying to cheat them. So this is not good. Always be yourself as you are, how you talk, how you think, how you reply. That will immediately make a strong impression in the minds of the interview board. Sometimes they may ask you a question on the situation. Like if you are the collector, if an agitation like this, what happened in Haryana, or what happened in Kudangulam, or what happened in Jallikattu, what will you do? It is in this kind of questions are very hard to answer, and there's no right or wrong answer. Probably you can, you need not even give a very long answer. You can say a very short answer. Say, for example, in the Jallikattu, if they ask you if a large gathering of people are gathered, what will you do? Will you really use force? You can always say, I will refrain from using force, and I have complete faith that I'll be able to talk to them, convince them. I'll be able to give them, put forth the facts before them. Now there are social medias. We can always, inform the agitating young people that the government is really concerned. We are able to solve the problem. And already the problem is solved, therefore they may disperse. In no account against ordinary public, I will not use force as long as they are peaceful. So something like this in a short time you can. But if it's a larger question, like if you are the Prime Minister, what will you have for the country? What programs will you have the country? Such situations, probably you can ask for a minute to think about it. Just please give me 1 minute time, sir. Let me think about the policies and programs I will come out with if I am in a position of power like that. So if they ask you to draw a picture or sing a song, you may ask them to give 1 or 2 minutes or 5 minutes time to think about which song I am going to sing, which portrait I am going to make. So you don't have to really perturb over that. You don't have to go and show that you are a great man, you are going to have a great plan. Nothing like that. Even if you are not answered properly, just leave it. This is not very important. This is trying to see how you react, how pleasantly you take. Do you really feel that you are cornered or you are not able to do anything? That's a problem. One of the most common questions asked in the interview, and one of the first questions asked is, and very particularly when you have served abroad, you are working for a large company, you are earning a lot of money already, are you overqualified, like a doctor or a PhD, or you graduated from an institution like IAS or IIT? They ask the question, why do you want to be an IAS officer? Already you are well placed, you are well educated. Well, for this question, I have noticed in the last 20 years that some students immediately, some candidates say, this is my childhood dream. Some even say it is my father's dream or mother's dream. Some people say that he has seen some IAS officer, very dynamic in the district, or he came to his school when she was a student, or sometimes say there's a popular police officer in our state. All right. Now let us examine this answer. Childhood dream. What does a child know about IAS? Whether the child knows the responsibilities of the IAS officer, or the duties of the IPS officer, or the responsibilities of a IFS officer. The child doesn't know anything. At the most, at best, it can be an infatuation. It's very sure it's not because of the childhood dream somebody continuously persists and joins in a medical college and joins engineering. He wouldn't have joined a medical college if that is a real passion. She would have joined the arts college, simply 3 years, BCom or English literature, and she can be through in the IAS. This is not the case. Most probably, this man or woman have really researched on the various jobs, and of the jobs available, probably this candidate is attracted towards IAS or IPS. That can be the truth, and that truth can be told simply. Simply say, I like IAS because of the variety of job it offers, because of the challenges in the service, because of the opportunities for my own personality development, personal development, self-improvement, the unlimited opportunity for public service, unlimited opportunities to see whole of India, to be of great help, to be a part of the policy making or the policy implementation, which I feel is very, very important. You can say the job of a policeman is extremely interesting and very crucial for a society. A growing society, law and order is paramount. And part of the law and order in the grassroots level as a fighting force is a privilege. Therefore, I want this service. This can be a better answer. So particularly candidates who are not exposed to an interview for a higher government job like this, immediately fall for the prey and say that it is my childhood dream. I feel it is not a good answer. Okay. In the interview, sometimes you wouldn't have heard the question properly, or the member was so low in his voice you didn't understand, or you are so tense you didn't understand. In which case, instead of giving any answer which can be irrelevant, just ask him, sorry sir, can you please repeat the question? Sorry sir, I couldn't get the question. That's okay, absolutely okay. But at the same time, if all the questions you are asking because of your tense moments, that's no good. Or repeating the question before answering is no good. Saying certain words all the time, in my opinion, according to me, as per newspaper reports, because of these people, for all the answers saying this is also not good. Some candidates, they actually, my name is Ramakrishnan. Actually, I am coming from Delhi. Actually, I like IAS. So this kind of answers, even though answer is good, the method of answering, making use of words like this may not carry you well during the interview. Like communication, body language play a very important role in the IAS interview. Communication, they say, the words have less important significance. The words you speak is less important. What is more important is how you speak, with what punctuations you speak, how much enthusiasm you speak. What does your body say? Whether you are speaking the truth. When you say the truth, the body will express and tell very openly, I am saying the truth. When I am guessing, my body will say I am guessing. Therefore, the body language is very important. Please mind, in 45 minutes, they are going to assess your personality. You may be a right person. Naturally, you are a right person. You are a dedicated person. You love this country. You want to do something for this country. That's exactly the reason you have spent so many years, so much time, so much money, so much energy. So much of your life you have spent it only for that. But in the course of the interview, if you make an indication that you are not sincere, that you are not honest, it will be a disaster. It's not true. You are a sincere person, you are an honest person, you are a loving person, you are a patriot. But in the body language, the way you express should not give the way otherwise. That's why I already told you, engaging in a dispute, a contradiction, an argument, being arrogant there, or taking a strong view on points of religion or caste or even language or even dogmatism is not good. Such thing, if you have strong feelings of for parochial ideas, it will show you as a very, very indifferent and rude or a person who is not fit for the IAS. In fact, they are going to assess your suitability for a government service. That's also for the highest government job available to this country. Therefore, your body language should be trained, well trained, to express the actual person you are. The actual person you are is a knowledgeable, willing to learn, you are a loving person, an man of integrity, you have a right kind of judgment, you have keen interest in subjects you are learning. When I say the keen interest and depth of knowledge in the subjects you are interested, the hobbies, you have mentioned your hobbies, reading, writing, talking to older people, watching movies. Okay, some candidates say reading books is my hobby. Okay, tell me, which book did you read recently? Now suddenly his body language, he goes silent. Body language say probably he has not read any book in the last few months. Probably he is not in the habit of reading books at all. Some people say, I'm a volunteer in blood donation. Okay, gentlemen, tell me, when did you donate your body last? I never done a blood donation, sir. He stated in his resume, in his that his hobbies are volunteering for blood donation. A man who is a volunteer in blood donation, he has not done one blood donation. What kind of sincerity you can expect out of him? So these are very, very important. So once you mention your hobbies, please try to at least develop your hobbies now. Refresh your hobbies. Do something, try to know something more about your hobbies, about books, about art, about literature, whatever you are quoted. You say if you are a karate man, what is karate? What are the belts in the karate? Where has karate come from? What are katas? What are the other very strong aspects of karate? Who are the great men in karate? Anything happening in the karate world, you should know. This is very, very critical. Again, about the hobbies, preparation is paramount. Etiquette and mannerism is anywhere important? in the IAS interview, it's much, much more important. What kind of dress you are wearing? Are you confident with your dress? It's very important. The shoe you are wearing, are you okay? The pant and shirt. I will encourage you to wear a suit. Because I understand most students, they wear a suit. But those who did not have the habit of wearing the suit probably can go in a pant, shirt, and a tie. But wear the tie properly, learn it. That's also a preparation. Train it yourself how to wear a tie. And be comfortable, because unless you are in the habit of wearing a tie, you will not be comfortable in the interview board. Therefore, now I will explain to you, I'll give a demonstration about you, how to come up, how to walk, how to say a good morning, and how to sit, how to answer the questions. It's only a model, it's not final, but you can take a clue from this. Okay, let us proceed to make a demonstration about how you will conduct yourself in the interview hall. Okay, let us go. I'm just entering, I'm a candidate. I'm just entering. There's a chairman and 4 other members. Chairman is a lady. Good morning, madam. Good morning, sirs. I come very close to this place, but I don't go and sit immediately. And the chairman says, please take your seat. Okay. Only after that, I come here. I very comfortably sit. When I sit, either I can keep my fingers folded like this. I can keep it here. I can keep it on the wrist. But anyway, whatever way I am comfortable, I'll sit. Now, I'll wait for their first question. They'll ask, please introduce yourself. Okay. I am Akash from Mumbai. I have done my engineering from IIT Mumbai. My father is an employee with the Indian Overseas Bank. My mother is a teacher. I have an younger brother who is studying in IAS Bangalore. Now, my special interest is civil services. That's all. Nothing more. Don't prolong. Now, series of questions are asked. Other member asks questions. I look at his eyes. He gives a question, and I give the answer. But while giving the answer, I come back to the chairman, and once in a while I meet his eyes. I go back and give the answer. Sometimes I can even go to the other member, and ultimately I end up. It's very important you sit up, speak up, whatever you know, and after 3-4 sentences, or 5 sentences, 6 sentences, shut up. Sit up, speak up, and shut up, or the secret of success in the interview. So, in the due course of the interview, always maintain your posture, be cheerful, be confident, never lose the interest or never lose the hope. Never ever show that you're not doing well or you're not done well. As cheerful as possible until the last answer. Now, everything is over. They may indicate that the interview has come to the fag end. They may even ask you to leave. Absolutely fine, but don't rush in immediately. Take 1 or 2 seconds, get up. Thank you, madam. Thank you, sirs. And walk away from the interview board. At no point in time, give you an indication that the interview has gone bad for you. Never. Because if you give an indication like that, it's likely that they also will get a clue from your body language, and it is difficult for them to award a very high marks for you. Always give the impression, really feel that you are doing extremely well. This is the best I can do. Therefore, it's good. Go out with a good feeling. I'm very sure you understand some concepts about interview. The interview is a process. There will be introduction and initiation. There will be a series of questions on your subjects, on your hobby. They make an assessment. And ultimately, the interview comes to an end. You go out. And after that only, they sit and discuss and decide on your marks. So this process, you please understand this, understand the principles, and more importantly, I'll again wind up saying that preparation is the key. For the civil services interview in Delhi, the preparation of the candidate is the key. Wish you all the best.